Ah, it looks like our detective is finally awake. Sweet dreams? Oh, now, that is a rather nasty scowl. You were right. Save it. Why are you here alive? You wound me. Do you really think I'd just kill you off like some petty thug? I could never. Not when we have so much history. Wow, you are a sharp one, aren't you, detective? Yes, I suppose keeping you alive would be odd if you weren't so essential to all this. This is between you and me. Oh, but it isn't anymore, is it? And not just because this little goody two-shoes would rat me out immediately. No, because you've fallen for them. Come on, is that what this is about? This is what everything is about. You know that. Everything I do, everything I've done, it's always been for you. I love you. Well, sorry to say, but the feeling isn't requited. No, detective, not because of you, because of him. Although I would like to restate just how much I'd love to get to know you better. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a joke. The detective never says yes, and I never take no for an answer. It's funny. You, on the other hand, you're controlling, insipid, malicious, and very selfish in bed. I'd never love you. I was just confused for a while. You should listen to your detective. I'd hate to do something you'd regret, at least this early. I'm not going to take that lead. No, he's just going to go into some long-winded spiel about how his master plan is so flawless and fitting. Well, since you asked, detective, I'd love to walk two of you through what I'm envisioning. Despite the accusations, this agenda tonight is rather simple. After all, I don't need much done. The way I see it, moments away from successfully beginning a very lucrative narcotics ring, the only roadblock is the two of you. Now, I could put a bullet in both of your heads and move on, and honestly, if the boss keeps pushing me, maybe I will. But for now, I think we can solve this in a slightly more civil manner. Well, you don't have to die. Neither of you do. I don't hold grudges for the murder of 9-foot soldiers, 10. It hardly matters how many. I've got plenty of blood to spare. Yes, there is a small matter of legal affiliation, but there are ways to keep a canary from singing, some of which are rather pleasant. And fortunately for you, I'm willing to pursue them. That is, assuming the boss is ready to cooperate. You can't feed into this, detective. I've played this entire game out before. First, you agree to talk, and next thing you know, you're tied upside down to a speedboat playing chicken with a submarine. Don't act like that wasn't the time of your life. I tell you all about it if we make it out alive. As annoyed as I am with this very immature silent treatment from the boss, that is perfect. Making it out alive, that's what you both want, isn't it? Well, here's how you do it. Despite the very clear indicators for me to hate you, the heart wants what the heart wants. So if you agree to play nice for the next 60 years or so, then instead of executing your wonderful detective, I'll send them off to a safe house, somewhere nice, remote. You can visit once a month. Do whatever it is you two do behind closed doors, and then you'd come back to me, my loyal, loving partner, till death do us part. Thank you, detective. With how agreeable you're being, I think I see why the boss likes you. More to the point, I'm sure you've noticed that you've been drenched in something, Detective. I don't know if you can smell it after that little faceplant you did when you fell unconscious, but I'm sure the boss knows what it is. Wait, the gasoline. That's you, Detective. Once again, I'm glad to tell you that story if you survive this. Don't even think about posing, Detective. I'm not taking this deal. Yes, really. I trust you about as far as I can throw you. And despite how convincing my flirting must be, I don't have feelings for you, Detective. They're a cop. They're the enemy. I just need them to cooperate. I'm not going to repeat myself. Be my guest. Thanks for watching over me, darling. I'm sure they would have gotten themselves shot if they hadn't been around. Wait. Detective. What? Oh, yes. I definitely saw you pick the cuffs. I just needed to buy a little more time. Nice punch, by the way. I think he's out cold. Yes, right, the coke. I'm sorry, that was just very attractive. My brain was slipping. Give me a moment. I'm sure I can function. Thank you. I'd have to pick the lock, but I left my kid at home. So I suppose we won. Rather an odd position to be in, but gift horses, mouse, and whatnot. Again, so sorry because this is about to become rather anticlimactic. Oh, calm down. I didn't shoot you. Calm now, Detective. Keep up, surely. You of all people can put the pieces together. The boss, he keeps the gun in his vest pocket, or I guess kept would be the more appropriate description, considering the murder. And now the synopsis of firing. Contemplation looks good on you, Detective. Oh, quite the wild accusation, but no, I have no intention of killing you. Detective, do you really think that little of me? No, I'm not going to pin this on you. What good would that do me? Sending my favorite cop to prison? Please, just shut the pretty little mouth for a moment and listen. Nothing nefarious is going on. We won, Detective, and I intend to honor our deal. The cocaine, the notes, the scientists, and all the evidence you want to take is all yours. The only reason I'm pointing this gun at you is to ensure you don't get any ideas. Even though our deal didn't technically include me not killing the rival boss, it never hurts to be safe around you. After all, I've seen what your right hook can do. I swear, on my mother's grave, I had no idea he'd be here. But once you had him unconscious, I saw an opportunity, one that I know you'll support, if just you'll hear me out. Think about it, Detective. The rival boss wasn't exactly making life around here better. And now he's dead. There's going to be quite the big shoes to fill, which will inevitably lead to a lot of bloodshed, violence, infighting, and lots of other terrible circumstances that no one wants. Fortunately, I'm your ticket out of this. I can keep this city from eating itself. And all you have to do is take credit for the biggest bust of the century. Say you did it all alone. Say you took down the mob single-handedly. Go to the press conference and to accept some medals. Get the public nice and happy, and by the time you're back on the beat, I'll have handled everything. Detective, you're looking at this wrong. You want me to hold all the cards. It's what's best for the city. Or would you prefer to roll a dice on some new thugs? One who would likely have a history of bloody coups and hostile takeovers. Better the devil you know, right? Then allow me to rephrase. Either you go paint a picture of a lone, intrepid, incredibly sexy detective beating evil itself, Or I shoot you and we let someone else make heads or tails of this. Either way, the power ends up in my hands. Believe me, detective, I don't want to kill you. In fact, I'd love nothing more than to celebrate this incredible victory with you. But we both have more pressing matters to tend to. So I'm afraid the bedroom will have to wait. Think of it this way. If you let me go, I'll owe you one. A really big one considering how this is going to be for me. Detective, be reasonable. What does this city need more? The best crime fighter you've ever seen, riding high with a massive promotion and friends in low places and another filled grave? This is the best deal you're gonna get, detective. No doubt. You're in my pocket. Some well-deserved recognition, maybe some sex on the side. This is everything you could ask for. Just take it. Please, I really don't want to shoot you. Ah, I knew you were a smart one. Take the compliment, detective. You're about to get a lot more of them. But I'm not going to be around to see all of that. Try not to miss me too much while I'm putting together a criminal empire. Ta-ta. Yes, detective? Oh, it's so good to know you care. Tell you what, give me a week. Nah, 9 days. And I'll be right in front of that dingy little apartment, ready to take you to dinner all over again. Then we can go get this whole friends things with benefits straightened out. Yes, the benefits is entirely business. Nothing else, I'm sure. You can't blame me for trying to get into that lightly stained slacks, can you? Well, I have to stew on it. Goodbye until next time, detective. And do be sure to take notes on the ceremonies. I want to hear all about my fiance's latest endeavors. Oh, I love you too, darling.